There are moments in life when everything feels strangely synchronized. Encounters repeat, emotions surface without warning, and situations arise that seem too precise to be random. You may call them coincidences, but deep within, something recognizes them as signals. Life is not merely happening to you, it is responding to you. The universe speaks constantly, not in words, but through experiences that mirror your inner state. Often we are too busy trying to control outcomes to notice what is being revealed. Resistance creates noise, and noise drowns out meaning. When plans collapse or paths unexpectedly close, it is not punishment, it is redirection. What feels like loss is frequently a clearing, making room for a deeper alignment that could not emerge while you were clinging to certainty. The universe communicates most clearly when the ego loosens its grip. Discomfort is one of its primary languages. Anxiety, confusion, and restlessness are not signs that something has gone wrong, they are indications that something within you is asking to be seen. Unexamined fears and ignored truths do not disappear, they manifest as external obstacles. Life arranges situations that force you to confront what you avoid. In this way, every challenge becomes an invitation to integration rather than escape. You may notice patterns repeating in relationships, work, or emotional reactions. These repetitions are not curses, they are lessons delayed. Until you become conscious of what is being asked of you, the universe will repeat the message in louder forms. Awareness breaks cycles. When you finally listen, what once felt like resistance transforms into guidance. Silence is essential to understanding these messages. Not the absence of sound, but the stillness that allows perception. When you stop demanding answers and begin observing honestly, insight arises naturally. The universe does not shout, it waits. It waits for you to be present enough to recognize that everything you seek externally is already forming internally. When you align with truth rather than fear, life begins to cooperate in unexpected ways. Opportunities appear not because you chased them, but because you became ready to receive them. This readiness is not about perfection, it is about sincerity. The universe responds to authenticity. The moment you choose to live in accordance with your deeper self, the message becomes clear. You were never lost, you were being guided. Life often feels like a series of random events, disconnected moments that we struggle to make sense of. Yet, if we pause and look closely, a hidden order begins to emerge. The universe does not speak in language the way humans do. It communicates through experiences, patterns, and emotions, creating a vast, intricate web of signals that reflect our inner state. Every encounter, every decision, every surge of feeling carries meaning, whether we recognize it or not. These experiences are like mirrors held up to our consciousness. Reflecting aspects of ourselves we may have ignored or suppressed. A recurring encounter with the same type of person, repeated challenges, or sudden emotional shifts are not mere coincidences. They are indicators, messages designed to guide us towards self-awareness. Patterns in life often go unnoticed because they are subtle, and we are conditioned to dismiss them as ordinary or accidental. But patterns are the universe's way of calling attention to what matters. When certain events or circumstances repeat, it is an invitation to pause and reflect. These repetitions highlight areas of our life that require understanding, adjustment, or acceptance. They may manifest as recurring conflicts in relationships, repeated professional obstacles, or habitual emotional responses that keep us stuck in loops. Emotions serve as the most immediate and intimate form of this communication. Joy, excitement, anxiety, fear, or sadness are not random fluctuations, they are signals responding to our alignment or misalignment with the truths of our lives. Intense emotions often point directly to areas requiring attention. Fear may arise when we are resisting change or avoiding growth. Excitement can emerge when we are approaching something aligned with our deeper purpose. Even discomfort is purposeful, steering us toward insight and transformation. To understand these messages, we must cultivate awareness. We cannot decipher the universe's language while caught in distraction, noise, or the pursuit of control. It requires observation, presence, and a willingness to notice without immediate judgment. Reflection on patterns and emotions allows us to see beyond surface events into the underlying truths they reveal. The universe communicates consistently, but it does so in ways that require attentiveness. Its signals are rarely explicit, they are subtle, woven into the fabric of our daily existence. Those who learn to read these signs recognize that life is never merely random. Experiences, patterns, and emotions are the threads through which guidance, insight, and growth are offered. By paying attention, reflecting deeply, and allowing ourselves to feel fully, we begin to understand that nothing occurs without purpose. The universe's language is always present, patiently guiding us toward clarity, alignment, and the unfolding of our potential. Each moment, when noticed and felt consciously, becomes a lesson, a mirror, and a doorway to greater awareness. Life often tempts us to cling tightly to outcomes, to try to orchestrate every detail, and to assert control over what unfolds around us. We are conditioned to believe that success, safety, and happiness depend on our ability to manage circumstances perfectly. Yet, this very need for control often becomes the obstacle to true understanding and insight. When we resist the flow of life, we create tension within ourselves, and that tension clouds perception. Resistance is more than a refusal of external events. It is a refusal of what is happening internally. We push against emotions we deem uncomfortable, deny thoughts we fear, and reject experiences that challenge our sense of certainty. In doing so, we construct walls that prevent clarity from emerging. The universe, life itself, does not operate according to our preferences. It functions on principles far greater than individual desire, and the lessons we are meant to learn often arrive in forms that conflict with our expectations. Every attempt to force outcomes or manipulate reality obscures the guidance embedded within experience. Surrender, however, does not mean passivity or resignation. It is not giving up, it is the conscious choice to release the illusion that control ensures perfection. When we surrender, we allow life to reveal itself on its own terms. We shift from resisting what is to observing it, from demanding certainty to embracing possibility. In that space of openness, understanding begins to surface. Clarity emerges not because life suddenly aligns with our desires, but because we align with life. Our perception clears when we stop clinging to what should be and start noticing what is. Resistance magnifies anxiety and confusion. Control gives the ego the illusion of security, yet the more we attempt to hold on to it, the more life slips through our grasp. Surrender, paradoxically, provides the stability that control cannot. It creates a sense of trust, not in external circumstances, but in our ability to navigate whatever unfolds. In this state, even difficult experiences lose their oppressive weight and reveal their instructive value. Moments that once seemed frustrating, unfair, or chaotic become opportunities for insight, growth, and realignment. The act of letting go opens channels for guidance, intuition, and creativity that were blocked by rigid insistence. By relinquishing control, we allow patterns to reveal themselves, emotions to be fully felt, and lessons to be understood in their entirety. The more we resist, the more we remain trapped in partial understanding, fragmented perception, and repeated cycles of struggle. Surrender dissolves the tension, softens the mind, and sharpens awareness. Life communicates most clearly when we are willing to release the urge to dominate outcomes, to step into the unknown with trust, and to move in harmony with the flow of experience rather than against it. In this alignment, clarity is not just possible, it becomes inevitable. Life has a way of presenting us with experiences that feel uncomfortable, painful, or challenging, and it is natural to want to avoid them. Yet these very moments are not random obstacles, they are signposts pointing toward inner truths that require our attention. Discomfort is a language the universe uses to draw our focus inward, to illuminate areas of our lives that have been neglected, ignored, or denied. It may appear as anxiety, fear, frustration, or tension, often manifesting in situations that test our patience. Resilience or understanding. Challenges, too, serve a similar purpose. They are catalysts for growth, designed to push us beyond superficial comfort and compel us to confront aspects of ourselves that remain unexamined. When we face difficulty, it is easy to perceive it as misfortune or failure, but such interpretations obscure the deeper message embedded within the experience. Every obstacle contains information about our inner landscape. For instance, recurring conflicts with others may reveal unresolved issues within ourselves, while professional setbacks can highlight limiting beliefs or unconscious patterns that interfere with progress. Emotional discomfort often signals a misalignment between our current state and our authentic self. Ignoring these signals delays growth, as the same challenges tend to reappear in new forms until we learn the lesson they carry. By paying attention to discomfort rather than resisting it, we develop a more profound awareness of our true needs, desires, and fears. Challenges act as mirrors, reflecting the parts of ourselves that require integration, compassion, or courage. Life is rarely random in its timing or selection of difficulties. It arranges circumstances that force awareness and self-reflection. Even when events feel harsh or unfair, they are not punishments but invitations to understand the underlying truths that shape our experience. In embracing discomfort, we cultivate resilience, insight, and emotional intelligence. We learn to navigate life not by avoiding pain, but by using it as a guide toward authenticity and alignment. Over time, the repetitive appearance of certain difficulties becomes a form of messaging, signaling areas that remain unresolved and prompting us to take conscious action. The universe is persistent yet patient. It does not demand immediate compliance, but it does continue to provide opportunities for awareness until we engage with the truth. By reframing challenges as tools rather than obstacles, we shift our perception from victimhood to empowerment. Discomfort is not a hindrance to life, but a vital communication channel, guiding us toward self-discovery, clarity, and meaningful transformation. Each trial carries within it the seed of understanding, and by attentively observing, reflecting, and responding, we uncover the inner truths that lead to growth, fulfillment, and alignment with our deeper purpose. Recognizing these signals allows us to navigate life with wisdom, courage, and a sense of harmony that would be impossible if we remained blind to the lessons embedded within difficulty. Life has a way of presenting certain experiences over and over again, often in slightly different forms, until we pay attention to the lesson they carry. These repeating patterns are not accidents or coincidences. They are messages designed to bring unconscious dynamics into conscious awareness. When similar challenges, conflicts, or emotional responses keep resurfacing, it is the universe's way of saying that there is something unresolved within us that demands acknowledgement. Often, we fail to notice these patterns at first because we are distracted by the surface details or focused solely on the external outcomes. We may blame circumstances, other people, or random chance, without realizing that the recurring situation is pointing toward a deeper truth about our own beliefs, behaviors, or emotional habits. For example, we might find ourselves repeatedly drawn to certain types of relationships that are unhealthy, or we might encounter the same obstacles at work or in personal projects. These repetitions are not meant to punish us, but to highlight the aspects of ourselves that need reflection, adjustment, or integration. Until we recognize the underlying lesson, life will continue to present it in new forms, each instance growing more noticeable, urgent, or intense. Conscious awareness is the key to breaking cycles. By observing patterns carefully, reflecting on our role in them, and considering the recurring emotions they provoke, we can begin to understand what life is asking of us. Awareness transforms repetition from frustration into guidance. The moment we acknowledge the underlying truth, we gain the opportunity to respond differently, to make conscious choices that align with our growth rather than perpetuating unconscious behaviors. Patterns are often subtle at first, appearing as minor irritations or small frustrations. Over time, if ignored, they escalate until we can no longer overlook them. This is not a sign of failure, but of life's persistent care in guiding us toward self-awareness. Repeating patterns are also a mirror of our inner beliefs and unresolved conflicts. They show us where we are holding on to fears, attachments, or old conditioning that no longer serves us. Recognizing and understanding these patterns allows us to release what is no longer necessary and make space for new, healthier experiences. Life provides these repetitions generously and patiently, giving us multiple opportunities to learn and evolve. Each pattern carries within it the essence of a lesson waiting for our conscious engagement. By paying attention to these signals, reflecting deeply, and making intentional choices, we can break cycles, heal old wounds, and cultivate a more aligned, empowered, and harmonious way of living. In this way, repetition is not a burden but a gift, an invitation to awaken to the truth of our own inner world and to act with clarity, insight, and purpose. In the rush of daily life, it is easy to overlook the subtle messages the universe is constantly sending. We move from one task to another, juggling responsibilities, distractions, and endless mental chatter, rarely pausing long enough to notice the guidance that is always present. Stillness and observation are essential tools for understanding these messages. They create a space in which we can truly perceive what life is revealing, beyond the noise of our oughts, and the distortions of our assumptions. Stillness is not merely the absence of movement or activity, it is a conscious inner quieting, a deliberate withdrawal from the compulsive urge to react, control, or judge. When the mind is quiet, it becomes receptive to patterns, feelings, and subtle signs that often go unnoticed in the chaos of busyness. Observation paired with stillness allows us to see clearly without interference from preconceived notions, biases, or emotional reactivity. By simply noticing, without the need to immediately interpret or act, we open ourselves to insights that arise naturally from the situation. The act of observing life attentively transforms ordinary experiences into meaningful guidance. Repeated events, emotions, and interactions reveal their significance only when we pay attention without distraction. In stillness, we begin to recognize the hidden threads that connect events, the recurring themes in our relationships, and the subtle nudges pointing toward personal growth. Observation cultivates awareness and discernment. It teaches us to distinguish between what is urgent and what is important, between fleeting impulses and deeper truths. Through patient attention, the universe's language becomes clearer. Small signs, a pattern in behavior, a sudden emotional response, or a coincidental encounter carry information about our alignment with ourselves and the flow of life. Stillness also fosters intuition. When we stop demanding answers or attempting to force clarity, intuitive understanding arises spontaneously. It is often in moments of quiet reflection that solutions, insights, and realizations emerge, guiding us toward decisions that are in harmony with our higher purpose. Without stillness, these intuitive signals are drowned out by mental noise, fear, or distraction. Observation requires honesty and courage, as it sometimes forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves. Yet in facing these truths without judgment, we allow transformation to occur naturally. Life's guidance is subtle. It is easy to miss when we are constantly moving, reacting, or trying to impose our will. Stillness and observation are the gateways to receiving it fully. By cultivating these qualities, we begin to perceive the meaning behind experiences, recognize the lessons within challenges, and align with the flow of life more consciously. The universe does not shout, it whispers. It waits patiently for us to pause, to be present, and to observe. In this presence, understanding arises, and the messages that once seemed elusive become clear, actionable, and transformative. True alignment begins with authenticity, the courage to recognize who we are beneath the layers of conditioning, fear, and societal expectation. Living authentically means acknowledging our values, desires, and limitations without pretense, and allowing our actions to reflect this inner truth. When we operate from this place of sincerity, we naturally attract guidance, growth, and meaningful change, because the universe responds to the clarity and integrity of our intentions. Authenticity acts as a beacon, signaling to life that we are ready to engage with experiences that serve our highest development. When we attempt to live according to external expectations or suppress our true selves, confusion, frustration, and stagnation inevitably arise. Opportunities may appear blocked, relationships strained, and progress slow, because we are not aligned with the natural flow of our own purpose. Conversely, when we honor our inner truth, the path forward becomes more evident. Guidance often arrives subtly, through insight, intuition, synchronicities, or encounters that resonate deeply with our values. These signals are more likely to be recognized when our intentions are genuine, because authenticity sharpens perception and deepens sensitivity to the world around us. Growth is a natural consequence of this alignment. When we embrace who we truly are, we confront fears and limitations with honesty and courage, making room for transformation. Challenges that once seemed insurmountable become opportunities to refine skills, expand consciousness, and strengthen resilience. Living authentically requires a willingness to shed what no longer serves us, old beliefs, relationships, habits, and roles that are misaligned with our true self. This process may feel uncomfortable or even disruptive at first, but it is precisely through this shedding that meaningful change occurs. Life responds to authenticity because it mirrors the integrity of our intentions. When we act from alignment, decisions are made with clarity rather than hesitation, actions flow with purpose rather than resistance, and interactions resonate with sincerity rather than pretense. In this state, the universe appears to cooperate, not because life owes us favor, but because we have become attuned to recognizing and receiving the support and opportunities that have always been present. Alignment also fosters fulfillment. When our external life reflects our inner values and truth, we experience a sense of harmony and coherence that cannot be achieved through imitation or superficial success. Every choice becomes an expression of our deeper self, and every outcome becomes a lesson or an opportunity for further evolution. Meaningful change, then, is not imposed from outside but emerges naturally from living in accordance with who we truly are. It is sustainable, profound, and resonant. The more consistently we practice authenticity, the more effortless the flow of guidance, growth, and transformation becomes. In essence, alignment with authenticity is a magnet for life's wisdom, challenges, and opportunities, inviting us to live fully, courageously, and purposefully. By honoring our inner truth, we open the door to experiences that elevate, expand, and ultimately transform our lives in ways that are deeply meaningful and enduring. Remember, the universe is always speaking. It is sending you messages through experiences, emotions, patterns, and moments of stillness. Every challenge, every discomfort, every repetition in your life is not a setback but a guide, pointing you toward deeper understanding and growth. When you pause, observe, and choose authenticity, you begin to align with the flow of life itself. In that alignment, clarity arises, lessons become obvious, and opportunities for transformation open effortlessly. Trust the process, honor your truth, and embrace the journey that is uniquely yours. The messages are already here. All you need to do is be ready to see them, listen to them, and act upon them. Step forward with courage, live authentically, and allow life to guide you toward the growth, fulfillment, and meaningful change that you have been seeking all along.